The NBA Conference Finals is officially here, and 4 teams remain in the NBA playoffs: 2 from the East, 2 from the West. But the 3 panelists will always remain: King, me, Justin. How are we doing?
I knew it was gonna be the Timberwolves and the Thunder.
All good?
I just all good. I just knew this was gonna be the Western Conference Finals.
I'm on loan to Denver right now, and we choked. So I'm out of both. I'm out. Both my teams are out. I guess I'm relying on the Timberwolves right now to win it.
Nah. But I'll
Come,
go into it after.
come on, T Wolves, man. Come on, T Wolves. And come on. Nah. But anyways, let's get started. We got lots to unfold, lots to unpack. The Celtics and the Cavs, the Warriors and the Nuggets are all out of the playoffs. We can do a brief conversation about them if you like, but we might as well just get stuck into to the preview. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up everyone who's supporting the channel as always. Make sure you guys on your way and are liking the video, liking the stream, subscribing to the channel. We're so close to 250 subs, man, people. So if you could get me to 250 subs, that would be great. And I'm also gonna upload the stream. Like, so I'm gonna upload the clip right afterwards. After we finish the stream, I might just clip up the predictions and upload it right away. So make sure you guys do tune into that. Like and subscribe to King's channel as well. His channel is gonna be in the title. I'm gonna insert the link in a bit. He's got a lot of WWE content coming his way. He's got a lot of future sports. He'll definitely do a lot more. So make sure you guys do check out his channel. Like I said, make sure you guys do subscribe and like the video on your way in and on your way out as well. And if you can't make it to the stream, no worries. You can always watch it back because the stream will always be uploaded to the channel, so you can always tune in and you can leave a comment and leave a like on the video as well as when you're tuning in. So, but anyways, people, let's get started. I mean, do you want to just quickly do a quick review of the 4 teams that got knocked out? Just do a quick 5-10 minute review on it all, and we'll recap the playoffs. Sorry, we'll preview the playoffs.
For me, the Celtics just might be a quick 1 minute.
Yeah, we can leave the Celtics for last. Honestly, we might as well leave the Celtics for last. Let's do the Cleveland Cavaliers first because they were the surprise package. Like they were to get eliminated from the playoffs. Let's do that. Let's talk about them because the Cleveland Cavaliers should not, for me, have not been eliminated from the playoffs. They should have been, for me, they're a better team than the Pacers. They're a much better team than the Pacers. They're much better, they're better equipped and they're better in terms of depth and size. For me, I think it was a blip for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they'll be back next year competing again. It's just whether they can stay fit going into next season because they have a really talented roster. I think it was just burnt out in the end. I think Cleveland were either burnt out or just injured at the end. And they need to keep this core intact, man. They need to keep this core intact. They need to keep Darius Garland. They need to keep Jarrett Allen. They need to keep Evan Mobley. DeAndre Hunter. They need to keep them all. They need to make sure Donovan Mitchell doesn't go anywhere as well next year. They better make sure that all these guys come back and they're competing again next year. They need to stay fit going to the playoffs because, like I've always said, the Cavs don't need Mitchell to make the playoffs. They need Mitchell to get far in the playoffs. However, Darius Garland has been out injured, so we can't. So we can't say that Mitchell's the reason why the Cavs were there. You got to give credit to Garland. You got to give credit to Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley. You got to give credit to everyone else around the team as well. DeAndre Hunter was a very, very good trade as well. So yeah, Kenny Atkinson, very, very good head coach. Keep him around. keep the squad around, keep the core around, and I think the Cavs will be back next year. But I want to know what you guys think. I will get to the comments just in a bit, and then you guys can start. Big up to you, Enhanced. What's up, Kevin and Rasta as well. Why I like Celtics is because my family went to Boston for their education. My family pretty much grew up in Boston. My aunt, my uncle, my dad, my inner family, like my family who, from my dad's side, we've all been in Boston. Even from my mom's side, a couple of them from my mom's side have been in Boston. So I love Boston, and I've been to Boston many times. So yeah, Boston's my second home, I guess you could say. I've just not been there for a long time, and hopefully I will head back there soon. I will go back there very soon. I need to go back to Boston sometime soon. But yeah, Celtics are my team because I just love Boston. I've loved Boston since I was a kid. But yeah, that's why I like him, and I like all Boston sports teams. But Man United is my number one sport. Man United is my number one sports team, and football is my number one sports. Like the stream, big up to you, UK, or America. No, America for me. I always like America more than UK. I'll be honest with you. I've been to America more times. I've been to America 6, 7 times in my life, 8 times in my life. I've been to the UK only for transit.
And then he adds, "Nah, I'm trolling."
I know he's trolling, but in terms of like why, I think he's asking. I think saying why he's trolling because he said why do you like Celtics? But anyways,
yeah, Kane, I'll let you go. I'll let you go first on this Cavaliers discussion.
Oh, thank you. Excited to talk NBA. For me, I feel like 3 of the teams that we're gonna discuss is similar issues. It's injuries to key players, and when it comes to the first round, you can get away with having one of your major guys out because the level of quality between the teams, especially because the Cavs had the number 1 record, you're facing the team that just came from a play-in, so you're gonna beat them easily over a 4 to 5 game span. But when you're coming up against Pacers, who last season made the Eastern Conference Finals, this season is a one of those kind of dark horse teams. They're very defensively solid. They've got a lot of size. The last thing you want is your team to be unfit and unhealthy. Your second in command, your Robin in Garland out for the first 2 games. Then you have even Mobley come out for a bit. Then you have also look at Donovan Mitchell not fully 100%. These kind of issues compound, and it leads to you to lose the series, not because you're the worst team. It's just because they're putting so many different types of bodies on you defensively that you can't cope. And that's what Indiana did. For the Cavs, this is a learning curve. Two of the teams that with 60+ wins aren't in the playoffs anymore. So what does it tell you? You don't need to win every game. You just need to get to the playoffs and make sure that you're healthy when playoff time come. Because for the Cavs and for their coach, next time, towards the end of the season, rest your star players a bit more. Because there should be no way where your second best player in Garland should be injured before the playoffs or injured in the start of the playoffs. That shouldn't be happening. You're pretty much going into the playoffs with one hand behind your back. So you're gonna get through the first round, but by the time the second round happens, you need to be fully fit and healthy, and the Cavs weren't, and they just couldn't compete with the Pacers, their size, their strength, and with Halliburton, with Siakam, they got some dogs, Mathurin, they got dogs there. So when you're facing a team like that, if you ain't ready for that war, you're gonna lose that war 9 times out of 10, and that's pretty much what happened to the Cavs.
Yeah. Justin, just add your thoughts on this one, and give your output.
Yeah, the past 2 years that the Cavaliers got bounced from the second round, they were the top 2 seeds in the NBA. Like last year, they were the number 2 seed. They got bounced by the Celtics in 5. This year, they were the number 1 seed. They got bounced by the Pacers in 6, I believe. Yeah, 6. So what is this telling us? like Kane said, you don't have to win every single game. Just get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But you also don't have to be the number 1 or number 2 seed
No, you
because
never have.
because if you are the number 1, number 2 seed, you get a bye week. Okay, sure. You beat Miami after the bye. Good for you. You swept them, but you also had a long rest while the Pacers and the Bucks were playing a 6-game series.
Mm.
Then come the Pacers. Then Darius Garland's injured. Evan Mobley's injured. Donovan Mitchell looks like the Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz. Jared Allen looks like the Jared Allen from the Brooklyn Nets. How about next time you play a first round series, you actually bring this series to a 6 games so that way you don't have to get a lot of rest. And no, to anybody that's watching this, no, Celtics don't have a pass here either. Celtics don't have a pass here either, and neither do the Oklahoma. Well, okay, Oklahoma City does, but the Warriors and the Timberwolves don't have a pass here either. So I'll get to that. But if you sweep or if you win a 5-game series, while your next round opponent is playing a 6 or 7 game series, how about next time go to like a 6 or 7 game first round series because then maybe you guys will be ready to go for the second round.
Fair enough. I think this applies to me and Justin on this one. Who is your favorite Celtics player of all time and now? All time, maybe Rajon Rondo. Maybe I think you could say Rajon Rondo. Yeah, I guess Rajon Rondo all time. Unfortunately, he broke my heart in 2019 after scoring that game winner against us for the Lakers. That one hurt me still to this day. Trust me, I was watching that game in uni. I was in class in the morning. I was watching the game on my phone. I was like, oh my god, fuck you. I was like, what the hell happened? He scored that. Bro, if only we fucking hell. If only we had rebounded the ball that day. That's it. I was hoping to tap it out. In terms of right now, Jason Tatum. Justin, I want to ask you to say, what's your all-time favorite? Paul Pierce all-time? But who's your current favorite player? Fair enough. Yeah, big up to Kevin. No, Larry Bird was way before my time, but my dad actually watched Larry Bird. My dad was actually studying when my dad was watching Larry Bird in the 1980s in Boston. I think he was there when Larry Bird was still playing. He was there in Boston when Larry Bird was playing. So yeah, he watched a bit of Larry Bird. He's not a Celtics fan. He's just he's like a moral Celtics fan. I guess you could say he's a moral supporter of the Celtics because like he's not a massive sports guy. Obviously, he watches here and there, but he doesn't watch NBA now. He used to watch when he was in Boston. So Larry Bird was his era, the 1980s, when he was studying in Boston. So yeah, who's winning this final? We'll predict when the NBA finals happen, but this is just this is just the conference finals. So this is not the actual like NBA finals. So we'll predict when it comes. But big up to you, Rasta. Anyways.
Can I quickly add on the Celtics?
Of course. Not
I used to like a lot KG.
Okay.
For me, yeah, I like the guys that have passion, defensive, willing to do anything it takes to win, and that's what he did. So for me, him, and I would say currently, I would say Jaylen Brown. I like him. He's very smart. He knows the game of basketball really well, and I think a lot of people, especially in the summer when it came to the Olympics, the fact that he didn't make the Olympic team was a disrespect to him. Because
no, he actually didn't want to go.
He didn't get picked. So
I'm not gonna mention why he didn't go, because there was some politics behind it. Because I don't want to talk politics on my channel, so I can't. I'm not gonna what you call I'm not gonna mention what happened exactly, but I'll mention it backstage. I think it's the here you go. Just check private chat.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why
Mhm.
I don't think I can really mention it on stream. I don't want to mention it on stream, but this is why I think. But anyways,
Yep, fair enough. Yep, moving on.
about the Celtics, right? I want to ask you a quick question. Who do you think better, Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown? Because I think it's Jason Tatum for me. Both of you.
Ah, mm, mm, mm,
I think he knows this. I think he knows this. JT. He doesn't want to answer it.
Okay. In terms of last year's playoffs, it was Jalen Brown.
Okay.
In terms of of his 7-year career, it's Jason Tatum. But
Overall.
if we're going off playoffs last year, it's Jalen Brown.
Okay. Okay. What do you say? Overall.
I agree with Justin. It's definitely JT overall, but Jalen Brown in the playoffs last year was
Yeah.
the major reason that you got that chip. But yeah, they're both solid. You know, as I said, Batman, Robin. JT's the Batman, JB's the Robin. You always need that, the first and second guy. But that's why the Celtics are such a good team, because JB as your second guy, most teams don't have players of that level as their number two. So
You put me
Do-
on the spot there, Kevin.
Do I like LeBron James? I have mixed feelings on LeBron James. I've got mixed feelings. Things with LeBron James, right? I don't mind him as a player, but his attitude really stinks. LeBron's attitude really stinks. That's the one thing I don't like about LeBron. Is that he gloats about himself when he's not supposed to. Go look at MJ. Go look at Kobe. Do they gloat about themselves? No. They've never ever mentioned themselves in any conversation. But LeBron saying that he would start with him in a when he wants to build a team. Why is he gloating about himself? To be a top professional, athlete, you need to have a good attitude as well. The attitude is, for me, LeBron's attitude stinks. And I don't like it personally. Listen, it is what it is. He's had a great career. I think he's the second greatest player of all time for me, personally. I think MJ is my number one, but in terms of all time, yeah, in terms of like second best, yeah, it's gonna be LeBron James. But his attitude is not really like my cup of tea. His attitude is not my cup of tea. You know what I'm trying to say? So
yeah,
so
no,
yeah,
that makes sense. I would say this though: the best LeBron for me was the one at Cleveland when he won the title with them.
I would say Miami. Possibly.
No, just because of the whole thing, because you're going back home, you're doing it for your own city.
Yeah, okay.
For me, I think that was the realest LeBron you saw, because he did it for his hometown. Miami LeBron was a villain, and Lakers LeBron is a villain, but Cleveland LeBron, that's the LeBron I like.
Yeah, I hear you. He's just obsessing. Yeah, my goat Ronaldo as well. Same.
So what are your initial thoughts on the Cavaliers since we were talking about them?
My initial thoughts on the Cavs.
Yeah.
I gave my thoughts. Like,
Oh, you did. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't. Okay.
I feel like they were just going through injuries, and like King said, it's more to do with next year. They need to get the same core fit again. This is a good core already for me. I think this team is good. I think they should run it back, but they need to be healthy next year. And they should not and they should try not to wear themselves out, bro. Because Cleveland, right, this year, they look burnt out, bro. Cleveland. I'll be honest with you. Towards the last 10 games of the season, the last 15 games of the season, the Cavs looked so worn out. They overplayed themselves, man. They overused their players, bro, in games when they didn't need to win. They were 8 games ahead of Boston. Why would they need to have? Why would they have had to play their players, overuse their players? You know, it doesn't make sense to me. So I think Cleveland were worn out. I think they were burnt out. They overcooked themselves in my opinion this postseason. They were injured, and they just were not fit. So for me, run it back. Don't burn yourself out next year. Keep the same core intact, and just go on from there. I don't want the Knicks to win the fans over here. Yeah, Ross lives in New York, so he knows how the atmosphere is like in New York. But anyways, moving on. Which team you want to go to next?
Should we do Warriors next?
I think we'll go Golden State. Yeah, I think we'll go Golden State now, and then we'll go Denver, and then we'll go Celtics. Cool. Denver. Golden State.
That
was it. They need Curry back, and Curry couldn't stay fit. They overused Steph Curry. At this age, Steph Curry should not be overused like that. They overused him in many games where they could have sat him out. Admittedly, you need to sit him out. I think they overused him. Don't know what you guys thought about that.
I'll go first. I'll go first on this one since I let King go on the Cavs.
Anyways, it's your turn.
Yeah. So I knew it as soon as Stephen Curry went down with that injury in Game 1. I knew or was it Game 2? Was it Game 2 that he got injured?
Yeah, 2. I think it was Game 2.
Okay. I knew after the Warriors were cooked from the beginning because Jimmy Butler is the same old Jimmy Butler from Miami that can't win the big ones in the playoffs. And then we got Draymond Green acting like a spoiled little brat getting into a fight with Anthony Edwards. Like, you know what I think the Warriors should do this offseason? I think the Warriors need to get rid of Draymond Green. Because if they keep Draymond Green, they'll never win a championship again as long as Stephen Curry's on that floor.
So you think getting rid of Draymond Green is the solution to the Warriors in terms of their future, and in terms of where they want to go in terms of going forward?
Because if he stays on that floor, he's gonna get into fights. He's gonna get suspended, and his career is gonna be over. So, I think he needs to leave.
King.
I do agree with the Draymond Green point. I think it's an end of an era for the Warriors. I mean, they had their dynasty, they won their titles. With Stephen Curry, it's not really him being overused. It's just Father Time. Father Time beats all, and the way he plays basketball, especially when it comes to running around the way he does in order to get space, he has to do more running because he's the only elite shooter on that team. You got rid of Clay. There's not many other great shooters on that team outside of him that are consistent with it. So you went from Splash Brothers to one guy. You let go of Jordan Poole, who was another guy that was splashing it in the past because of the Draymond confrontation. Which I think you should have done it the other way around because I think Jordan Poole hasn't been the same player since.
Just the fight with Draymond Green.
Yeah, I think you should have got rid of Draymond Green then.
Both attitude stinks though, bro. I'll be honest with you. Both their attitude stinks.
But Jordan Poole's the future rather than Draymond Green is. He was at that point he wasn't really a benefit in terms of the Warriors winning because they've had their like dynasty time. You got rid of Clay. You need to get rid of Draymond. You need to refresh the team, and maybe especially with an older Steph, him as maybe like a 6th man, 7th man would be a much better situation so that you can have his lethal shooting, but have young guys to take up most of the minutes. And it just was as soon as Steph was gone, there was no point because what the great thing about the Warriors up till that point was the 1-2 punch. Steph was going to hit you from the outside. Jimmy was going to hit you from the inside. As soon as you took away the outside game from them with Steph and the shots he was making, especially especially in that first game, like was unreal. So as soon as he was done, Timberwolves were like, yeah, they were like wolves in real life, and they ate their prey. They chewed them up, they spit them out, and Warriors are gone. And I think Justin's right. I think it's time to refresh that team. They got a lot. They're an old team, and this is your young man's game. If you look at the 4 teams that are in the NBA Finals, they're all young. They're all led by young superstars. So it's time for Warriors to get that refresh, become a lottery team, get them picks up, and go again. And Warriors are one of the outside of Boston Celtics. Warriors are one of the best teams when it comes to picks. That's how they got this dynasty in to begin with, was picks. So repeat the process. It's time for a new journey for the Warriors, and it's going to be maybe 5-6 seasons before you see them as a team that can compete again.
Remember that old saying, if it's not broken, why fix it? Well, it's broken. Time to fix it.
Exactly.
I just think the Warriors missed Steph Curry. I'll be honest with you guys. I think in game 1, where you saw Steph Curry play for majority of the game, when he left the game, the Timberwolves would struggle to shoot. And if you have a player like Steph on the court for the Warriors, the impact is there. And I think they struggled without him in these games. They needed Steph. They really needed him. Because without Steph, the Warriors, for me, wouldn't have even made it past the first round. They wouldn't have made it past the first round. They needed Steph against the Timberwolves. Because I genuinely think the Warriors would have been in the conference finals if they had Steph Curry. Yes, you could maybe say Draymond Green is the guy that keeps, like, you know, it is a bit of a distraction. I get it. I understand it. In terms of his attitude, in terms of the shit he does on the court, I don't condone it all one bit. I think it's a bit too much. Just him and Dillon Brooks, both of them, for me, a massive distraction to the game. The way
Draymond Green has become Dillon Brooks. That's what he's done. He's regressed into Dillon Brooks.
Pretty much. But if you can look at, we can also say Dillon Brooks looked up to Draymond Green, but I'm gonna start fighting as well because Draymond Green's much older than Dillon Brooks, and Dillon Brooks started playing late. So no, but anyways, as I was saying, I think the Warriors just missed Steph, man. That's all I can really say. I don't really have much to say on this one. I mean,
here's the thing. As soon as he went down with an injury, the next day, Shams came out and said Stephen Curry is going to be out for at least a week, and his expected return was Game 6. Okay, well if you're the Timberwolves, you're thinking like, let's just end this. Let's not face Stephen Curry. That's what they did. That's what they did because they knew if they got to a Game 6, the Warriors would have won that series.
Because you guys are also forgetting, though, even though I just criticized Draymond Green, we're forgetting that he was in contention for Defensive Player of the Year. We're literally just forgetting that he was in contention for the Defensive Player of the Year. He was literally in the rankings, like top 3. He was the nominees for the Defensive Player of the Year, along with Evan Mobley, along with who was the other guy that was in there? Was it Isaiah Stewart that was in there? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so, but we all knew Evan Mobley was going to win that award.
Oh, no, it was Dyson Daniels was in it.
But we all knew it was either going to be Mobley or Daniels that was going to win that award.
But anyways, like the fact that he was still in contention at this age is crazy. Although I think
he was just in there for name alone. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think it was just a name thing. They said, yeah, we needed a third name. Yeah, Green. Yeah, put him in.
Could have put Giannis in there, to be honest with you. Honestly. But anyways, as I was saying, like, they just missed Steph Curry. So, like I said, that's all that I gotta say. They just missed Steph. And with Steph, they would have been in the conference finals by now. So, the experience would have got them over the line in tight games. But yeah, anyways. Moving on, Denver Nuggets. What were you saying, Denver?
Let's hear it, Akabin.
Well, the team I'm on loan to. Oh,
you were saying Nuggets in 7. What the hell happened?
Hey, Hey, King also said Nuggets in 6 at the start. Okay, I'm not having this. I'm not in this.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair, but
I'm not in this. I'm not having this. I'm not in this alone. I'm not in this
Yeah,
alone.
but I got the information and
Yeah,
the
but still,
calculations,
what
and it
was your
changed.
the prediction? Bro, the prediction I posted on the channel, the clip I clipped up was you saying Nuggets in 6. So
Yeah,
that's the original prediction. So you still got it wrong.
yeah.
You still got it wrong. Even the
But I
slight you
got
say
game 7 right. I got game
no, no,
7
no, no.
right.
We both later said, oh, this is going to 7. I'll be
hey,
honest.
before we continue, can you bring up Kevin's last comment quickly?
Which one? This one here?
No,
Oh, this one.
the next one. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's right about this. He's straight on right about this because the first round was not competitive at all. The second round, besides the Denver and the Minnesota game, that wasn't very competitive. But honestly, I think these conference finals are going to be more competitive because, like King said, these are four young men going after their first championship.
Hmm.
So,
But
but
there are
he could
two.
be. But he was right about. He was right about up until this point.
But for me, OKC and Knicks have already won a championship, so it's two teams that are going for their first championship. It's the
Uh,
Pacers. The,
you're right about that. But but it was the Seattle SuperSonics that won the championship. It was not
yeah,
OKC.
it still counts. They just rebranded their name, so because then we can say Minneapolis Lakers then, and those titles don't count, right? Lakers.
But again, it's four young guys going after their first championship in their careers. So
Oh no, no,
not team wise, but their first championship in their careers.
I heard. But we are gonna predict it anyways, in a bit. But let's go with Denver. I need to talk about Denver. Obviously, I need to start first in this one because you guys know already. I went for Denver in 6 or 7. Right? I don't know. Justin is done, but I need to explain myself. All right. When it comes to Game 7 and Denver Nuggets, right? They've been through it already the past few years. They are the experienced team. They're the team that's gotten over the line in Game Sevens. They've had multiple Game Sevens. I can do countless Game Sevens that Jokic has been in. You can never count Jokic out in these games. The Nuggets were up big at first. The Nuggets were actually dominating the game at first, and then they let OKC back into the game. They pulled the Boston Celtics early on in the game. That's all I have to say. They pulled the Boston Celtics very early on in the game because the Boston Celtics did it late in the game. But what the Nuggets did was they did the Boston Celtics a bit earlier in the game. The OKC came back very, very well. They capitalized on the Denver Nuggets missed shots. They made shots of their own. You know, they ended up going big runs and they ended up destroying the Denver Nuggets. It wasn't even a close game at the end, man. It wasn't a close game. Denver just completely got ripped apart. And I think it's time to break this Denver team up. I think it's time to break this Denver team up. I think it's time to make some trades in the summer now for the Nuggets. I think you might have to trade either Murray, MPJ. You might need to make some trades. You have to keep Jokic and Aaron Gordon. These two guys are staying. Russell Westbrook, God knows what happens to Russell Westbrook. Honestly, God knows what happens to him. But honestly, bro, when I'm looking at this team as a whole, they need to break it up now. They need to break this team up and go for a second player. You can maybe say, okay, maybe Jamal Murray gets one more year. Fine, right? He gets one more year. But what about the rest of the team? What about the rest of the team? King's a Sixers fan. Justin's a Boston Celtics fan like me.
Yep, right there.
No, but as I was saying, bro, honestly, the Celtics and the Nuggets both shot themselves in the foot in these games.
Okay, so I'll add on to this.
Go on.
My NBA champions picks throughout the whole entire season, whole entire season. Well, no, not the whole entire season, but the last months of the season. It was the Oklahoma City Thunder. Mm, I kind of got worried there just a little bit for Game 7. I I really got worried. But then Aaron Gordon was still injured with that hamstring injury.
Guy played his heart out as well. Even though he didn't, even though he wasn't fully fit, man, he played his heart out, man. You gotta give credit where it's due.
Yeah, he played his heart out, absolutely. But for anybody that was complaining about us beating non-healthy teams last year, man, oh man, you gotta look at the Denver Nuggets of this year.
Look at the Pacers as well, bro. 2 years in a row, they made the conference finals playing injured teams.
Yeah, but you gotta look at what the Thunder did to the Nuggets this year. That people were saying like this is the only series that has non-injured teams. Really?
Bro, they played the Bucks. The Pacers have played the Bucks back-to-back years, injured Bucks team. Yeah, 2 years in a row, Dame's been injured.
No, I was talking about the Nuggets and Timberwolves. I mean the Nuggets and Thunder.
I was just saying the Pacers also got to the conference.
Oh
finals.
Yeah. No, trust me. I'll talk about them when we get to our conference. When we get to our predictions on them. Trust me, I'll do that. But everyone was saying like this Thunder Nugget series is the only series that had non-injured teams. Really? Okay. Let me run down the main two injuries. Jamal Murray was sick. Aaron Gordon had a hamstring injury. Russell Westbrook, I don't know what the hell he was doing.
That's why I said it's a big game for him yesterday, and I was proven right.
Yep. Jokic, dude. I'm so sorry, but I feel so bad for you right now because you got
that is carrying that team, bro.
You got your ass kicked in Oklahoma. You got your ass kicked. Oh, and for anybody that's watching the stream, I did say yesterday, if Shea shows up, or if that Holland, thank you. I did say yesterday that if Oklahoma started to play like the Oklahoma City that won the #1 seed this year, oh, you do not want to play them. And guess what? They did. They showed up.
Yeah, they destroyed the NBA this season. Apart from obviously this series, they've destroyed everyone. They have completely run away with it this year. So yeah.
Where'd King go?
I don't know. I think he's just. I think he got disconnected, but he'll be back. I'll make my point about the Nuggets. Yeah, the Nuggets just completely shot themselves in the foot, bro. Yesterday, they didn't play well. MPJ, Jamal Murray didn't turn up. I think the Denver Nuggets need to break it up now. It's time to change things up now. For me, so that's all I can really say about Denver. What do you think about Denver now? Like, what do you think? Thoughts on obviously them and
they need to get rid of Murray and Gordon. I'm sorry, Aaron Gordon's not the answer to them anymore.
King, thoughts on Denver? Just quick thoughts on Denver, and then we'll move on to the Boston Celtics.
Initially, when this series started, yes, I was on Denver's side, but as soon as I saw the first couple games and I saw the way that OKC was defending Jokic, putting two big bodies on him, putting Hartenstein and Chet, and the way they were not stopping Jokic because you can't stop him, but slowing him down and making other players have to be the ones to kind of defeat him. I feel like it went into this kind of thing of whether are these other guys going to be able to play at that level. And in that game 7, Jamal Murray, for me, for most of the series, was better than Shea, but on that specific night when he was needed most, he disappeared. Obviously, Aaron Gordon was injured, and if you're on an injury, you're not going to have the same defensive effort, the same kind of plays that you had in recent games, and I think he was a big impact for Denver in terms of the defensive side of the ball. And then off the bench, Westbrook he's inconsistent. That in his later part of his career, that's what he's been. He's been a very inconsistent guy. And even in game 6, The only reason Denver won is when Strawther came on and hit 15 quick points out of nowhere. So even in Game 6, for me, I felt like this series shouldn't have gone to 7 games, because if OKC were better in the stretch, I think they would have won this series within 4 or 5. So I think it was their own naivety, their own kind of young kind of play style, and the young players not being able to finish off the jobs in certain games led it to go to Game 7. But in terms of this Game 7, they just dominated, especially in the second half. They blew out Denver. They did it at
first half, bro. They came back in that first half, bro. The Denver Nuggets were up by big in the first quarter, and then the OKC just came back. Like they just took the foot off the gas for a bit, and then they allowed OKC to come back. So yeah. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and in terms of what next for Denver, I feel like you still have to build your team around Jokic and Jamal Murray. You just need to get younger pieces. I feel like Strawther is a guy that you can focus on in the future. Maybe move on Westbrook, move on Aaron Gordon, even though he is a good piece. I just think with age, he's gonna start to break down more and more. So I feel like they need to do right by Jokic. If not, he'll eventually want to move on. And outside of that, they just lost to the younger, hungrier team, and that's what it was. So that's not all I gotta say.
Any more comments?
I'll add one more thing.
Yeah, go on. Of course.
Denver played a Game 7 against. Who did they play in the first round? I know the Warriors played the Rockets. I know the Lakers played the Timberwolves. I know the Grizzlies played the Thunder. I'm trying to figure out who the Nuggets.
Clippers.
Clippers. Yep. Denver went to a Game 7 against the Clippers, and they dominated the Clippers. Why? Oh, because James Harden and Kawhi Leonard are not inconsistent come Game 7. So you mean to tell me that you went to one Game 7? Meanwhile, Oklahoma City was sitting pretty after sweeping the Grizzlies. You mean to tell me that you couldn't make this Game 7 a competitive game? Okay, sure. You were winning in the first half. But you got your ass kicked in the second half to the point where Jokic was sitting on that bench and he looked like he wanted to cry.
No, I feel bad for him, of course. I could tell in his press conference, post-match press conference as well, like it's post-match, like, you know, when the players go for a press conference post-match, right? They asked him a question whether this team was good enough to win the championship. He said, they didn't. We didn't win, so we can't. And he sounded really frustrated. By the tone of his voice, by the way he was, like, you know, talking, I could tell he was not. Like I could tell he was upset. Because Denver have definitely made some really questionable decisions, bro. I kid you not, right? Firing Michael Malone was the number one red flag going to the playoffs because you have such a good team already. You had a team that won the championship with Michael Malone. The only players you didn't bring back were Christian Brown and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Those two players were the ones you didn't bring back. That's it. If I'm not mistaken, it was Christian Brown, wasn't it? It was Christian Brown.
Christian Braun, you mean?
Yeah. Christian Braun, yeah. But them, like, the only two players you didn't bring back were them two. And then you go on and fire the head coach that won you your only championship in your history. Really? Going into the playoffs, this was the guy that managed this team, bro, to a level where Nuggets fans never thought they'd be in their history, bro. I don't think Nuggets fans could even imagine being in this position. Like, they won the championship. And you go and fire the guy who's won you that championship. Bro, the GM even left. They fired the GM and they fired Michael Malone. So that's where I think Denver just lost their season. The season ended. Now looking back at it, that's where I think their season ended, when they didn't go and replace Michael Malone for the playoffs. They should have brought in a replacement before the playoffs. You're literally firing a head coach just right before the postseason, right before where the real basketball starts. You know, and I don't think this is where you make that move because it can cost you your entire season. And for me, Denver had so much potential to even go back to the finals this year. I had them in the conference finals, bro. I had them in the conference finals with OKC, but in terms of they played before. So, anyways, it's just embarrassing from Denver, man. They need to sort the shit out of the offseason. They need to make big moves. They need to blow it up, in my opinion, next season, and start again. Because at this rate, bro, you can't run it back with the same team if you're gonna have a head coach like this. You should never have fired Michael Malone, and you never should have. And you need to blow it up. Sorry, but anyways, that's all I have. But these two games. Question: who wins MVP now?
Oh,
SGA or
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
King? Who do you think wins it? Just a quick one.
I mean, it should be Jokic, but I think it's going to be SGA.
Yeah, I think they waited for this game to finish, and then they announce it.
But it's not. It's nothing to do with the playoffs. It's just regular season, and because he has a better record.
It's because the two of the MVP candidates are facing each other, right? You announce the MVP, it adds fuel to the fire. It's kind of unfair, because you might motivate a player to do even much better in the playoffs when he gets that MVP award before the series starts. But anyways, that's enough about Denver. We're gonna move on to a heartbreaking topic. Unfortunately, Justin, you can start. Boston Celtics.
Hold on 1 second.
Bring up some quotes from Brad Stevens if you like. Just bring up some of the quotes that he said. Why is the official NBA channel streaming right now? I don't know. Don't know, mate. You can check it out, I guess. Like a throwback. I don't know. I saw it on YouTube. Then possibly they do this often. So, have you all watched Slam Dunk? Did you guys watch Slam Dunk?
Like at the All-Star thing? No.
I don't know. I think the movie Slam Dunk. I'm not sure.
Oh, I have not seen it. No.
I'm going
Okay.
to school. Okay, big up to you, bro. Have a good evening. Have a good night. Wherever you're watching.
Okay, I'm gonna try to find this thing here. Let's see.
I'll just let you go next.
Where is it? Okay, you know what, John Corrales. I know he probably has everything. So.
Go on.
Okay. Okay. So, Brad Stevens on the Knicks series. The reality is we blew the first two games. Yeah, no kidding. You blew the first two games of the series. That was okay. Steven says Jalen has played with the torn meniscus for a while. Didn't say how long, but says they've known it for a long time. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, but the fact that he said that the reality is we blew the first two games. Yeah, we know that. We know that.
It's obvious. We
know you did. And the fact that you said like that Jaylen Brown's played with the torn meniscus for a while now. Okay, when during the Orlando game? When was that? During the Orlando series or during the first two games of the New York Knicks?
And Joe would hurt so much if they would have announced Jaylen Brown's injury in the middle of the Knicks series. That would be the dagger to the heart.
Yeah,
that would genuinely been the dagger to the heart for us Celtics fans.
And then this. Brad Stevens says Celtics won't rush future decisions on roster, and the team's focus remains on title contention. You know what the main focus should be, Joe? You know what the main focus should be, Brad? And look, I love Brad over Joe Mazzulla any day of the year. You know what the main focus? You know what the main focus should be? The main focus should be When is Jason Tatum gonna go for his rehab? When is Jason Tatum gonna be back to 100%? Because he did say during the press conference, we are not rushing Jason Tatum to come back. Good. Don't rush him back. We don't need him back right now. Okay, okay. I'm speaking as a realist here. We don't need Jason Tatum right now. Okay, if I'm being biased, we need Jason Tatum right now.
Yeah, of course, but we can't. We're out of the playoffs.
We can't. Yeah. But look, I think the main focus for the Celtics is get Jason Tatum healthy, okay? Because everyone knows, and if anybody in here follows Jesse Almeida on YouTube, please go subscribe to Brie Marie D. She needs to get to 1K pretty soon because she put out a raw emotion video of Jason Tatum going down with an injury.
Yeah,
saying like,
that hit me a lot as well.
Yeah, saying like, oh, this man did nothing wrong. He's getting laughed at. He's getting death threats. He's saying like they're saying like it should have been him and not Kobe.
It's not just him. It's his son as well.
Yeah.
You know, like, bro, these people have genuinely the way they watch basketball is a fucking disgrace. Like, for real.
But the fact that
basketball is also a disgrace, man. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, but the fact that they were saying like it should have been him and Deuce and not Kobe and Gina.
That's a fuck, bro. I'm sorry, yeah. Like, whoever said that, yeah, should never ever have a place on social media ever again. Genuinely, they should never ever have a place to even say a word on social media ever again.
Yeah.
The fact that they were saying, oh, it should have been Jason Tatum and Deuce to crash in a helicopter over Kobe and Gigi. You can't control that fucking shit. You can't control it.
Yeah. Look, I'm not gonna stay on this topic for very long because I've said my piece. I've said my piece in backstage.
No, bro,
we blew it. Tatum went down with an injury, which he shouldn't have. Jaylen Brown had a torn meniscus.
4 games to 1.
Tatum Brown had a torn meniscus, which he should have told us. Drew Holiday sucks. Kristaps Porzingis was ill. He sucked. You know who the only person in this series was that kept us Derek fucking White. Okay? So look, this is what I'm going to end with. Congratulations, Knicks. Okay, congratulations. You won your NBA championship by beating us. Okay? Good luck against the Pacers because you know what? Oh, and Karl Anthony Towns. This is what I'm going to say one last time. This is what I'm going to say. You respected Tatum by saying like you knew what you went through. Yet you show up at a Yankees game last night wearing a fuck Boston t-shirt. Yeah, I hope you tore your meniscus come the Eastern Conference Finals.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far, but anyways, I'll say my piece and I'll let King go because I'm a Celtics fan as well, right? You pretty much summed it up in the games 1 and 2 thing. I have said it on countless streams this time. We should be in the conference finals by now. The Boston Celtics should be in the conference finals by now. This should have been a gentleman's sweep by the Boston Celtics. We should have won games 1 and 2 at home. Game 3 on the road, we would have won. Game 4, who knows? The fact that we were up 14 one time, the Knicks could have lost momentum, and that game could have been a blowout, and Tatum would never have got injured because that turnover on against OG Anunoby or whoever Mikal Bridges, but Jaylen Brown would never have happened. I know I sound delusional as hell right now, but that's what could have happened. So, it could have been saved. His injury could have been saved. and he's now out for an entire year. God knows what's going to happen to us now. I listen to Brad Stevens. I feel a bit better because I know he's going to make some moves in the offseason that might keep the Celtics afloat anyways. So, no, I don't really have much to say, man. I'm just gutted. I'm really gutted, man. We'll have a season. We'll have end of season review coming for you very, very soon by the Boston Celtics and maybe other NBA teams as well if you like to see it. But in terms of just the Boston Celtics, bro, I'm just upset, man. Because when I did my predictions at the start of the year with King and Augustier, yeah, shout out to Augustier as well. And yeah, obviously King was there, yeah. We all said the Celtics were going to win the championship. All three of us said the Celtics were going to win again this year, back to back. Us three said the Celtics were going to win it again this year, and they said, and we said that the Celtics have the best roster, have the deepest roster. We have depth, talent all across the court. We have players on most given nights can drop 30, 40 points. Derek White can drop 40. Jason Tatum could drop 40. Jaylen Brown could drop 30. Let's say Porzingis could have dropped 30. Drew Holiday could drop 25. You know, we have players on most given nights can drop big numbers. So, and that's the problem, bro. We didn't utilize. You know, we didn't take our chances. We just threw away games 1 and 2, and that was our season nipped in the bud.
I need to add one more thing.
Of course, go on, bro.
I've been seeing a lot of comments in Jesse's stream last night. A lot of comments saying the Celtics need to trade Jaylen Brown.
No, we don't. Trading Jaylen Brown's not the solution.
And then as soon as Jesse said that this window is not closing, we're gonna get back to it. This idiot on Jesse's stream said, like, yes, this window is closed. You need to trade Jaylen Brown. You want to know why I bring that up? Because I'm seeing this on Twitter right now from this Tatum Rises Twitter account. You know what? I'm gonna turn my camera around. I'll let you see it. This is what I'm seeing. You're muted, Akeven.
Sorry, I just didn't enjoy the mock trades that Bleacher Report put out, man. Absolute disgrace.
I know, like
they put out so many disgraceful mock trades, man. Absolutely embarrassing. They should be ashamed of themselves putting out those trades, man. Honestly, for real.
When I showed that, I saw Kane's face like, oh my god.
I'm fuming, bro.
Like who in the right mind would trade Jaylen Brown to the Houston Rockets for those? Are we fucking serious right now?
God knows, bro. God knows. And also, yeah, Joe Mazzulla has a lot to blame for this games 1 and 2 throwing it away.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
Because we completely threw away our potential to win it again back to back. We could have been the first team since Golden State to win back to back championships, and we just blew it away. Threw it, man.
I'm just now I'm just really interested to hear what King has to say about this.
Yeah,
oh man.
I'm waiting for King now to respond, and then we'll move on to playoff predictions.
First of all, that trade that you showed me, Fred VanVleet and Jabari Smith. if you're getting rid of JB, bring me Sengun at least.
Oh. Yeah, thank you.
But let's be totally honest here,
bro. It's like trading. It's like trading. What do you call What's a good example? It's like trading Dusan Vlahovic for Liam Delap.
Yeah, pretty much.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, an elite striker for a young. But it's the thing is.
And who would you go for? The elite striker, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But I don't think it for the Celtics. I would say this: they lost because they defaulted to the free. Down the stretch, they defaulted to the free game after game.
Thank you.
And
Lives and died by the three, and we fucking died.
yeah, and this is probably a what's it called? The curse of the modern era that Steph Curry has created, where all these teams think they can shoot up 50, 60 threes and that's going to win you the games. When
The Celtics overused their line massively. Sorry, go on. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
What the Celtics needed to do was get the every time the Celtics won the game was because the New York Knicks were in foul trouble. They needed to get Cat in foul trouble. They needed to get maybe a Josh Hart in foul trouble. Every time you did that, you were going to win the game because you're getting them off the court, and you have to get off the likes of Mitchell Robinson and having to them use their bench, which is very weak.
He airballed 2 free throws against us as well, by the way.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. As I've said this. I said this from the start of the series. Knicks is a starting 5, and the rest of their men are paperweights. They're just there for decoration. Their 5 is solid. The rest, they're just there. You know, they come in, do their little couple rebound, couple shots off, then they're back in. And you know Thibodeau, he's using the starting 5 for the whole game, 50 minutes each. So
yeah, crazy.
What you need to get them
when Jalen Brunson. I'm sorry to interrupt you, King, but when Jalen Brunson got fouled out in game number 5, he doesn't smile. He really doesn't smile on the court. But when he got fouled out for game 5, he waved goodbye to Boston, meaning like, oh shit, he's gonna turn up game 6.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He got the rest that he couldn't get for during the season.
Imagine the Celtics came back in that series. That picture would have been iconic. Waving goodbye to the Knicks in the playoffs, but nah.
Yeah, Celtics eliminated you in 7.
But yeah, I don't really have much to say on the Celtics. You guys are done with the Celtics point?
No, I got a couple more things. And in regards to the Celtics team, there was a couple major issues for me when it came to this series. The defaulting to the free, the man named Tingus Pingus, yeah, him, that fraud. You want to talk about a trade? Express way to nowhere. Send him to Canada.
Give me Gershon Yabusele and Lonnie Walker for Kristaps Porzingis, please.
No.
You mentioned KP. Yeah, I saw another mock draft that said KP to the Lakers for Rui Hachimura.
Lakers aren't dumb.
Do you know what the trade offer was? It was Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, and what do you call and who was the other one?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
No, Austin Reeves, maybe.
Austin Reeves, yeah. Imagine Austin Reeves and Pritchard in the same team. When I've been debating all singles, when I've been debating all singles, but I said I back. And imagine the now.
But Tingus Pingus, yeah, he's a fraud. He was barely fit for the series. He was like, he should have been in the New York Knicks bench because he was there for decoration. That's what he was there for. He did nothing that series.
I literally saw a meme that said the Celtics left Kristaps Porzingis in New York.
They probably did. They said, yeah, you were good there. Oh, yeah, it's unreal. But
yeah. Any more points for the Celtics?
Yeah, I just think you need to move him on. Obviously, Drew Holiday's been a good servant, but he needs to move on and just get younger and build around JT and
KP. Take a pay cut, man. If only they can take a pay cut, man.
Nah. You just got to move on from them.
Mark Williams.
No, because he's injury prone as well. You just need young talent that
Kessler.
Maybe a Kessler, but you need young talent that are durable.
And Lonnie Walker. Give me Lonnie Walker.
I'm sorry, we're not doing business with you.
Oh,
So
no,
we
you
got
will.
a top 3 pick.
Don't worry, man. You will. We stole James Springer from you guys. At the end
Listen,
of the
we're going for the big things right now. We
He-
live in the high life.
we took James Springer from you guys, and he ended up winning a chip with us. So fair enough.
No, but in all seriousness, I feel like with the likes of JT, JB, with Peyton Pritchard, you've got a lot of talent in your squad still. You just need to just restructure it a little bit. Take a couple pieces out, take a couple pieces in, and go again. And I just think that you weren't the worst team. You were the better team for most of the series. It's just every
Yeah.
time you defaulted to the free, you lost the lead, you lost the game, and then once JT went down, it was curtains from there. You held your home stand for one more game, but then when it went back to New York, it was over.
It was
And
hostile.
and that's one of the places you don't want to go when you need to win a game, especially
but
with the way their fans were.
The Knicks haven't been good in closeout games recently, though.
No,
Yeah,
they
but-
haven't. But
Aside from obviously that game
But-
itself.
I saw something. I saw something very interesting that I'm unfortunate that I'm sad to see us being a part of.
Go on.
This is the first time in NBA history that we're gonna have a 7th different champion in the 7-year span. 2019 Raptors, 2020 Lakers, 2021 Bucks, 2022 Golden State Warriors, 2023 Denver Nuggets, 2024 Boston Celtics. Who's next? Who's the next one to not repeat as champion?
We don't know. We'll discuss that. But yeah, I just think that, yeah, as I said, the Celtics, they defaulted to the free. They need to get rid of Tingus Pingus and Drew Holiday, and
go-
and hopefully JT makes a speedy recovery, and then next season go
I
again.
agree with you.
Outside of that, there's not much else really to say. It's just you were the leaders of your own downfall, and
Yeah.
I think there needs to be work to be done from especially Missoula as a coach to tell your guys it's not always about the
Bro.
free. Reduce the frees by 10, 20 and get a couple twos in. You're winning that series in 4 or 5, and JT's still here,
4.
and you're going
Facts,
to the
bro.
Pacers,
Thank you,
and
bro.
you're getting back to back. But
Thank you, bro.
but in terms of and for New York, we'll talk about them even more. But yeah, their fans were crazy after that final game. Them, they were crazy on the streets.
I don't condone with it.
Either way, if they win the finals or not, you can pretty much guarantee they're gonna burn the living shit out of New York City.
Yeah. They already did. They won the billboards and everything. I saw people climbing up to places. I was like, what? I was like, they're trying to risk their lives out here.
But yeah, I agree with Kane, and I'm gonna end this like this. Do better, Joe. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, and Tinkus Pingus, you can stay in New York.
But anyways, we'll do the end of season review again later. We'll talk about Boston. Let's do our conference finals predictions, lads. Let's move on to the NBA conference finals predictions. Where do you want to start? Knicks, Pacers, or do you want to start off with OKC versus Timberwolves?
Yeah, let's get to the WWE match between Halliburton and Jalen Brunson.
All right, Justin, you can go ahead first then.
Man, oh man, the NBA, like, tell me that you're writing a script without telling me that you're writing a script. I mean, come on. We all knew, well, okay, I didn't know. Kane didn't know. Akevin didn't know. But most people that watched the NBA and most people that watched the WWE SmackDown when they were at Madison Square Garden last year and saw Tyrese Halliburton go like to Jalen Brunson, we already knew we were getting this in the conference finals. So Pacers, please, for the love of God, beat New York. That's all I'm gonna say. Please, 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 and thank you.
For me, this series is going to be a tight one. I think Knicks has the better starting five. I would say that. I think they have the more talented players in terms of. I think Cat and JB Jalen Brunson are the two best players on the court. But what I like about the Pacers is that they can put a lot of bodies on you. They've got a lot of tenacity, and they play the game the right way. And I think a lot of the thing about these two teams is they're trying to prove doubters wrong, and especially with the Pacers, this is the second time round that they're into the conference finals, so they're trying to make the next step. They're trying to show people that they are that team. So as much as I would love the Knicks to get to the final, because of the craziness and ideally I need to see them versus the Timberwolves just for storyline purposes. I'm gonna lie to you. I just need to see that, and then them ultimately lose to the team that they traded from, because that would be the ultimate. That would be the ultimate storyline. But I have a belief that the Pacers will get it done in six
It's
or
like
seven.
it's like breaking up with your ex. It's like breaking up with your girlfriend. Her moving away, and then all of a sudden she comes back and like, oh fuck.
Pretty much, pretty much. But no, I think Pacers will do it just because they've got a lot more consistent talent, especially if you looked at the two series. I feel like they were more consistent. But
Yeah.
the one thing I like about New York is that if they're within 10 points towards the end, Jalen Brunson's going to clutch it up. So,
Oh yeah, Mister.
yeah. So that's going to be the thing. Is New York going to be stay within that 10 points, or is Pacers going to try and at least win the game early? Because that's what they need to do. They need to not allow New York to be in the game in the fourth quarter.
Right
In order
now,
for
I
them
know that. Now I know the storyline behind the Knicks is okay. They got beat by the Pacers in 7 games last year. Okay,
Yeah.
but the Pacers got beat by the Celtics in 4 games last year. This is turned out to be an NBA playoff rivalry between the Pacers and the Knicks because damn, they haven't played in the conference finals since 2000. Congrats, Knicks. Guess what? You're gonna if I can imitate Reggie Miller for a second, choke again.
No, yeah, I think Pacers are gonna do it. I think Pacers are gonna do it. So as as much as and either way, New York's gonna be destroyed. If they win, they lose, whatever
Yeah.
happens. But it's gonna be a very interesting matchup. It's going
How,
7. It's gonna
oh,
definitely
I was gonna say there is no way this has ended in 4.
no. This is gonna be a long series.
Yeah.
6 or 7. I don't and I'm leaning towards Pacers at the moment. But I
Yeah.
will say this that the starting five of the Knicks are better. But the problem I have with the Knicks is that Tim Thibodeau probably has overused these players, so I feel like they may get an injury.
Well, let's not forget the Knicks also trade away Isaiah Hartenstein too.
Yeah,
So either way, if the Knicks make the finals, they're playing a former Knick.
yeah.
I don't know, but I agree with you, Ken. I got the Pacers. All right, Akevin. I hope he's there. I hope he listened.
He's gone. If anything, we can move on to the Western Conference. You got there.
Yeah. I guess we move on to the Western Conference until he comes back, and then we'll let him give his thoughts. So, Kane, I'll let you go first on this one.
This is
yeah.
oh, he's back. He's
Oh,
back.
cool. Oh
Okay.
my god. Okay, cool.
Guys, I was just listening to you guys.
Okay, cool.
I'll-
So you heard what we said. Now we want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, these 4 teams have young guys that are going for the NBA title, first NBA title for any one of these guys. Jalen Brunson, we can talk about what do you want about this guy. He's fourth quarter Jalen Brunson for a reason, clutch player of the year for a reason. Karl Anthony Towns, excellent addition to the Knicks. I clouded this at the start. Look at that. He's now been a positive for them. Timberwolves, they got Ant on your side. Tyrese Halliburton, they got a core of young players and a core of good players, well balanced team in Indiana, and you also got OKC, who have completely slapped up the NBA this season. They've slapped up the regular season this year. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest with ourselves. They've completely slapped up the regular season. They've had the best record in terms of just points. Yeah, like not just points, but win loss record, bro. They've completely destroyed the regular season and going into the playoffs, bro. This Nuggets game was their first real test. They completely swept the Memphis Grizzlies. They had a field day with that one. But I don't know. Let's talk about the next Pacers game first. Anyways, I'm gonna give my predictions and I'll give my quick thoughts. Knicks Pacers, Brunson versus Halliburton gonna be a crazy 4-point frenzy. Fourth quarter frenzy. Sorry, it'll be a crazy fourth quarter frenzy. But who comes out on top? I don't know. I just think with the way New York have been playing basketball as of late, I think they've had a decent season. Now they're in the conference finals. Their first conference finals since what? Someone's gonna bring it up. Someone's gonna remind me.
2000. The first conference finals in Knicks history since 2000.
Since 2000, fair play. And yeah, no, I just gotta give credit to the Knicks, man. They are where they are for a reason. So I'm gonna go with I'll give my prediction. Then I might add something. I might add some more later. What are your thoughts on, like, just give your quick predictions now. I'm gonna go with Knicks in 6.
Like I said when you were gone,
No, I was here. I was just listening.
I know. But like I said,
I have to go light out for a bit, man. My it's all good, man. Don't worry.
this is like I said earlier. I think the Knicks are gonna choke again. If I can do a Reggie Miller, if I can do like a Reggie Miller, because you know who's gonna be on that call for this whole entire series? Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller is gonna be on the call. Yeah,
So
Reggie Miller is gonna be on the call for the whole entire series on TNT.
Oh God.
And you know what?
They were sucking off the Knicks as well.
Yep, this is the final series in TNT history. The final one. So I said it before, I'll say it again. Pacers in 7.
Knicks in 6. King?
No, I agreed with Justin. I think even though I feel like I said before that Knicks have a great starting 5, I just think Pacers have too many bodies for the Knicks, and I feel like the Knicks have overplayed their players to this point, and I feel like they're gonna tire out, especially if it's a 7-game series, especially the way Tim Thibodeau treats his players. He's playing them even in the garbage minutes. So for me, I don't think that's going to allow for a team to win a championship. So I think Pacers in 7, just because of attrition. I think a player like a Joe Hart or Josh Hart or even a Mikal Bridges may go down just because of the way, even if they're like up 20-30 in the fourth quarter, they're still playing those minutes, which for me is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I just think they're just not going to have the energy that the Pacers are going to have over the course of the series. So Pacers in 7, but the dream matchup would be Knicks Timberwolves, but it's probably not going to happen. But if it does happen, I'm going to be there, front row seat.
And like I told Kane, this is like an ex-girl, like you break up with a girlfriend. She moves away. She comes back and be like, oh, fuck. And I also told Kane, like, it doesn't matter who makes the finals out of the Western Conference. If the Knicks are there, they have to play a full minute no matter what. Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, Isaiah Hartenstein. It don't matter. It won't matter.
They play Obi Toppin as well, aren't they?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, he's an ex-girlfriend too.
Nah, this analogy
So
is
so the
insane.
so the Knicks in general broke up with 4 girls in their star players and like we don't need you bitch anymore. Get the fuck out.
Nah, that's funny. So let's give our quick, So you guys are saying Pacers in 7. Both of you saying Pacers in 7, yeah?
Yes,
I'm going.
but Kane wants the dream matchup.
I'm going with Knicks in 6. I'm gonna go with Knicks in 6. Next, obviously, we're gonna do, and then we'll wrap it up. OKC versus Timberwolves. Shea versus Ant. Want to start first on this one, King? Or should I give a quick preview on this one?
No, I can start.
Come on, bro. Floor's yours.
Timberwolves, to get to this point, congratulations. I think and the team and the players have done great up to this point. But let's be honest, OKC's winning this. I want the dream matchup of Minnesota versus New York, but it's gonna be the opposite. it's it's OKC all the way. I don't think the Timberwolves have anything for them. I don't think Rudy Gobert is gonna be able to deal with Chet and Hardenstein in the paint. So he ain't gonna
And,
be getting no 20 boards.
and Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, Chet and Hardenstein. And and
The,
and
the,
and
the
as
rebounds,
great as
the rebounds were stacking up like crazy.
yeah, and as
Sorry,
great
go
as
on, bro.
and as great as Ant is, I just think this OKC team has just too much firepower, and SGA is gonna do what he does, but it's gonna be the likes of J Dub, J Will, the other guys that are gonna need to put up some points, because in the last series, the games they lost were the games where they were shooting bad. They weren't putting the right performances in, and I think they can't afford to do that. Because if you give this Minnesota team a sniff, yeah, they're gonna take it. As I said, they're the Wolves for the reason, and they've been acting like it. When you give them a chance, when you give them a little bit of hope, that's when they're the most dangerous. And even if it's like a 5% hope, they will take it, and that's going to be the thing. But OKC in 5 or 6, most likely, maybe even 5. I just don't think this is going to be a close series, in my opinion.
I think this Timberwolves team is still a bit too young. Last year, I think Dallas Mavericks just cooked them. This year, I just think OKC are just too good for them, in my opinion. If you're looking at this team, OKC they're stacked. They've got good talent all across the court. So I just think I'm gonna go as simple OKC at 5 or 6. Honestly, I just see OKC making it to the finals and winning it all this year. Now with the Celtics being out of the playoffs, I'm gonna go with OKC to win it all this year. Justin, quick thoughts on this game, and then your prediction, and then we'll wrap it up.
So I did say this yesterday, and I've been saying this throughout the last couple months. I have OKC as the champions in my ESPN prediction league. I have OKC as the champions,
Yeah,
and that wasn't gonna change because as a realist, I knew the Celtics were not gonna go back to back. As a biased fan, I wanted the Celtics to go back to back, and Nakovic knows this because he and I have been talking about this. He and I have been talking about this for the past couple months. I knew if it was Celtics and Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals, I was gonna have the Cavs go to the finals. However, this series alone, yeah, Thunder in 5. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander not only wins the NBA MVP, he will win the Western Conference Finals MVP, and then he'll go on to win Finals MVP. So that will be for the first time, and I think in a long time that we've had a regular season MVP, a Finals MVP, and an a regular season MVP, a Conference Finals MVP, and an NBA Finals MVP. I think Shea's gonna do it. I think Shea will do it. Oh, and as far as that Pacers Knicks series goes, I got Tyrese Halliburton win Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm gonna post a quick clip on YouTube Shorts. Yeah. So let's just give our predictions. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna clip this part up for the YouTube Shorts. Okay. So let's just say it anyway. Okay. Knicks in 6 and OKC in 5.
Pacers in 7 and OKC in 5.
Pacers in 7, OKC in 6.
All right, people, we're going to wrap it up here. Appreciate everyone watching. I appreciate everyone supporting the channel. As always, subscribe to King's channel. Subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I always look out and prioritize my guests before I prioritize myself. He's getting close to his new milestone. We will have a lot of streams for you this week. We might recap Games 1 straight away. Straight off the bat of Games 1, we're going to recap. We're going to come back. And NBA shows throughout the week. F1 show will be back on Friday, Saturday. Roland Garros tennis will be there soon. Premier League show, United shows. Hopefully, the Europa League finals around the corner. So, gonna preview that. What else is there? And I guess that's it. Just NBA, Celtics, and NBA, United show, Premier League. And more, I guess. Hold on, yeah, but yeah, like I said, we're a lot more streams coming your way. So after Game 1, we'll be back. F1 King will be on, Gusty will be on. Roland Garros will do it, and then Premier League show, United show. So I'll be here this week quite often. Just run the page. Rasta's up. Big up to you, Rasta. Big up to you, bro. We're closing out now. But people, we're out. I'm so close to 250 subs, man. If you can get me there, 6 subs away. 1 sub from 245. Sub to AN Sports on YouTube. Sub to King's channel. AFA Academy 93. Justin, your channel's next, bro. You need to set up a channel so we can,
Nah, I'm good.
All right, but whenever you feel ready, you have all the time to think about it. It's free to create a channel. So, but anyways, bro.
Oh, I got one. I just don't feel up to doing videos.
Fair enough. But anyways, lads, we're gonna close out. Like, share, sub, and yeah, we're out. Take care. Peace.